Welcome to the College Football Show presented by AT&T. Welcome to the third Saturday in October alongside former NFL QB Matt Sims, SportsCenter's very own Skubie Mageza in the house. I am Sam Ravech. YouTube chat, please interact with us. We want to hear your thoughts as we enter the second half of the college football season in 2025. Hard to believe. Alabama and Tennessee, just one of three ranked-on-ranked matchups in the SEC today. But it was the undefeated teams that were really the story coming into this week. There were 5 undefeated teams that put their record on the line today, and they went down, including Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss Rebels, Scoop.
And we got the highlights for that game. It is number 9, Georgia, taking on the 5th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Both teams coming off big wins in Week 7. First quarter, Ole Miss driving down Trinidad Chambers. Leaves no crumbs on the table and makes himself a plate. Reservations for 6.
4-6.
Yeah, just 6 people, you know, everybody gets to eat, and the Rebels take a 7-0 lead there. We go to the second quarter. Ole Miss leads 10-3. Guys, it was a big day for tight ends, and Gunnar Stockton made sure they were appreciated. He hit his tight end multiple times, but this is Gunnar Stockton waiting for a touchdown.
He gives
11 yards in. He makes it, what was that, third quarter?
That was 10-7. Now it's 21-20.
Chambers hits DeJon Stribling, and he houses it for a 75-yard touchdown. But, Matt, let's check out what Lane Kiffin did at the line of scrimmage over here.
This is what Lane does as good as anybody in the country. He recognizes what the defense is lined up in. He signals to his quarterback, hey, man, change the play. He's telling his quarterback, Trinidad, let's run a hitch on the outside versus cover 0 look. You can see the tabletop defense by Kirby Smart's defense. Everyone on the same level because they're blitzing the house. Hits the quick hitch, one-on-one. Hey, one-on-one, one-on-none in there for 6.
Yep. This is an absolute great play there. And then later on, Stockton drives him right down the field. Great day for tight ends. Hit Lawson lucky. That's his second touchdown of the day.
Yeah.
And then in the third quarter, keep your eyes on the screen here because this play is just sick. Oh. My God, Chambers tosses it up to Deuce Alexander, and he makes an insane grab, fellas. Puts Ole Miss in great shape because moments later, Chambers is going to punch it in for a 2-yard touchdown. Georgia allowed 4 rushing touchdowns today. That's tied for the most in any game under Kirby Smart. We go to the fourth quarter. I said it was a big day for tight ends. Jumped ahead because Stockton and Lucky connected 3 times. And he unleashed it, Matt. What a throw.
What a throw. Slant. Got the leverage already. Just cross face. Big body there in the end zone. Good throw by Gunnar Stockton.
Last chance for Ole Miss on 4th and 10. Chambliss gets his pass batted down by Josh Horton at the line. Check out this replay because this is just an athletic play by the defensive lineman.
Really good time in there by the defensive line. Shorter quarterback, hey, hands up, especially when you know they got to get the football out quickly.
Here's the Kirby after the game.
I just told the guys that's a culture win because you don't win that game if you're not physically tough, mentally tough. We call it hard to kill. And the one thing we're hard to kill. We won't go away. I do want to thank Lane, though, for the end of the game. He gave me some hot yoga tickets that I can go to yoga, so I tell him I appreciate that.
That's a mic drop right there.
I love that from Kirby, man. What a game this was. What a coaching performance from him because they really stopped Ole Miss's offense in the fourth. But, hey, Gunnar Stockton went 12 for 12 in the second half to lead the comeback, and he became the 4th Georgia player with 4 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown in a game in the last 30 years, joining Stetson Bennett, who everyone likes to compare him to, Aaron Murray, and DJ Shockley.
That's a great list to be on right there. And 13 yards of offense by Ole Miss in the fourth quarter. So when it mattered most, Kirby Smart and the defense got it done.
All right, let's keep things in the SEC here. 176 straight games that the Vanderbilt Commodores have been underdogs against a ranked opponent. That changed today when Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers came to Nash Vegas, and Vegas knew something coming into this one. Here's Diego Pavia calling his own number. He likes to do this, and he gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. A couple plays later, Pavia sneaks his way in for the score. Vandy up 7-3. We're going to jump ahead here to the second. Garrett Nussmeier going to feel the rush, falls back, but he's going to find Trey'Dez Green in for the score. A little escape valve here, Matty.
Oh, beautiful throw, just giving ground there, knowing that he's going to Trey'Dez Green. And Trey'Dez Green, man, turning into just one of these unstoppable tight ends across the country now.
Great day for tight ends.
Man, great day for tight ends, and he's a phenomenal football player, getting better and better each week.
We're in the third. MK Young going to take the pitch from Pavia, and he takes it 28 yards into LSU territory. How about MK Young? He had a pretty solid day for the Doors. A couple plays later, off the play action, Pavia to Cole Spence. Talk about tight ends, wide open for the touchdown. Vanderbilt extends their lead to 11. And then the next LSU possession, Nussmeier feeling the pressure. A lack of explosive plays was a problem for LSU, but sometimes you need a playmaker to make a play. Look no further than Xavier Thomas bouncing off defenders, 62 yards finding Pater.
Huge play in the game. Really helped just LSU get back into it because at this moment, Vanderbilt had complete control of it. Totally changed the tide of it.
LSU down 3, Pavia 4th and 1. Where are we going?
I mean, this is a Heisman type of play from him on 4th and 1 to run around in circles and find the open guy. I mean, this really changed the momentum of the game completely.
That was MK Young right there. And then Pavia finds an open lane, and he is going to take it all the way himself. And
Coaching matters, man. Where the hell did he come from?
Get that guy off my screen.
But it does. It does matter.
Yeah, it does.
That guy was right.
Fourth quarter now. Vanderbilt trying to put the game away. Pavia, really smart play here, too, going down before he scores.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think there's, 170 out there?
Yeah.
170 from New Mexico, friends, family. They're just true supporters. And so I'm really thankful for this. But this team is just so special, Everyone's got each other's 6, and if no one has their 6, I must be dead.
Best of luck moving forward. Congrats.
Guys. Thank you.
So Pavia hits the Heisman there, and he also improves to 6-1 on the year, 31-24 the final there. Vandy's first win over LSU since 1990.
I mean, just incredible stuff from Vandy. They have announced themselves as not just a contender to make the playoffs, but a team that can win the national championship and win the SEC.
I'm with it. I agree.
All right.
All right, how about a team that won the national championship last year? That is Ohio State Buckeyes taking on Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium. We'll pick this up in the first. Julian Singh watches Carnell Tate go Super Saiyan for the 33-yard touchdown, and I know my Dragon Ball Z fans can appreciate that reference.
Hey, Meha wave right there for the touchdown. That's what I'm talking about, Ted. Finds Carnell Tate late, but the accuracy thrown high and strong, and Carnell Tate just climbing the ladder for a great catch.
Yeah, and they were in cruise control here. His Saiyan finding Brandon Innes for a 13-yard touchdown. Wisconsin will fall to 0-4 in conference play for the first time since 2008. And they're shut out in consecutive games for the first time since 1977. That's not great for Luke Fickell.
Luke Fickell, hot seat.
I hate the fact that we can't show more Big Ten highlights because Julian Saiyan needs more love than what we did. But because of certain, business things behind closed doors, we can't show more Ohio State highlights. But, man, Julian Saiyan played phenomenal today, and he's another guy that should be in the Heisman Trophy race.
No doubt. No question.
All right, so, hey, let's do it. Hey, been waiting all day for this. Tennessee, laid an egg. But Louisville, my original college, before I did some really stupid crap to get kicked out of it. But either way, Louisville, fake field goal here. 4th and 2, able to get the first down. Love it. Miami celebrating. It's a first down. Hey, you know what Miller Moss likes to listen to? Anita Ward. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. Chris Bell for the touchdown right there. Louisville. Here's Carson Beck dropping back to pass. Interception.
I mean, he thought that was a 50-50 ball.
Jabari Mack climbing the ladder, getting that interception. Fantastic play right there. Louisville still leading 17-13. Moss. Ring my bell.
Right back to the well.
Ring my bell. There you go. Moss, I like this dude a lot.
Upset alert.
There he is. Who's that guy?
Get him off my screen.
Yeah, here's Malachi Tony off of the Isaac Brown fumble, sudden change touchdown. Tony, the former high school quarterback, dime there towards the front pylon to C.J. Daniels, 24-21. And now the tip at the line of scrimmage, trying to get the ball to the halfback quick. And Capers, TJ Capers with a phenomenal catch there to end the game. Louisville, Miller Moss, Jeff Brom, Ron English, the defensive coordinator. What a game for him, his unit, getting the big-time upset on Freaky Friday.
Yeah, it was a Freaky Friday, and this ACC race is going to be wide open because with Miami picking up a loss to Louisville, the path to the ACC championship was really opened up even more to both Georgia Tech and Duke, but they played each other earlier this afternoon in Durham. We're going to start this thing in the first quarter, second and goal for the Dukies on the 1-yard line, and this is where things started to go south. We got a fumble, and Omar Daniels going to pick it up, scoop and score, 95 yards to the hoose.
That guy, again, low red zoner. He's the guy that intercepted Cade Klubnik on that big-time one at home. And now, again, coming up clutch in the low red zone. Wherever he is in the low red zone, just stay away from him.
That's a really good remembering, Matt, there. Remembering.
Oh, my God. Did you hear that, Scoop?
That was on purpose.
Remembering.
30 seconds before the half. Duke trying to get on the board. Mensa throwing it high. Layden King, 20-yard score there. We got a tie game at the half. Fast forward to the fourth. 5 minutes left to go. Georgia Tech leading by 3.
What a move.
Malachi Hosley with the spin move up the middle, straight into the end zone. Jackets up by 10. Tech getting the ball back with 2 minutes left to go. Haynes King putting a bow on this one.
This guy. Just couldn't resist it. He wanted to go down. He's like, you know what? It's just too easy. Give me 6.
I give a ton of credit to Georgia Tech here, but Duke reached the Yellow Jackets territory 7 times, and they produced just 18 points.
Wow.
Miscues against Illinois, and now Georgia Tech have really been costly to Manny Diaz's squad this year.
All right, let's go to a SEC showdown between the Oklahoma Sooners and South Carolina. Both teams experienced losses last week, trying to get back in rhythm, I would say. So let's see how that rhythm was moving in the first quarter where the game was scoreless. Sooners established a run. Torrey Blaylock is locked in. Kicks it into fourth gear. 18-yard touchdown. Sooners strike first to make it 7-0. Go to the second quarter. Same score. Xavier Robinson says it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. I want to get in on this run game. 25-yard gain. Sooners in enemy territory, and if he does the work to get you there, let him finish the job. Robinson says, I want 6.
Where was this run game?
I get 6.
Where was this run game the last 6 weeks?
Exactly.
It wasn't there, but it was there today.
136 yards rushing in the first half.
Crazy.
But the Gamecocks had a response. Lenore Sell started the game going 11 for 11 in the air. And on 4th and goal here, he finds the big man, Nick Harbor, for a 2-yard touchdown. Gamecocks on the board. It's 14-7. You go to the third quarter, wave those towels around, get hyped up. But the game slowed down here. We have 3 straight punts and 1 field goal. Gamecocks about to punt here. But psych, Sneaky Beamer goes for the fake, but it's picked by Taylor Wine. And this will be costly with the Sooners in great position here when they were struggling to get points. Ensuing possession, Mateer looks for his wide receiver 1, Isaiah Satnega. And that's a 20-yard touchdown. Oklahoma leads 24-7. Moving to the fourth quarter. Let's see if we can make something happen offensively for South Carolina. But you see the tick on the clock. Interception. How about you add that to the box score? Tell mom you got an interception as South Carolina was held to 10 points or fewer in back-to-back games now for the first time since 2019. But shout out to this Oklahoma defense getting back on track.
Yeah.
Mateer came back early last week and didn't look like his normal self, but 18 for 26, 150 yards and a touchdown, and this defense stepped up yet again. Bunch of sacks.
This was a gut check game for Oklahoma. I think this was the last game they had against an unranked opponent the rest of the year.
I mean, for Oklahoma, it's just a great team win because we know how good the defense is. It's good to see the offensive line produce and the running back room to get something and take a little pressure off of a quarterback that's still getting used to being the guy again coming off of surgery.
All right, that's enough of the SEC. Let's talk about America's Conference.
Damn, that was personal.
Monumental day in the Big 12. Number 7 Texas Tech putting their undefeated record on the line out in Tempe. Things got interesting late in this one. Stick around. But just under 6 minutes left to go in the second. Will Hammond completes an insane pass between 2 Sun Devils defenders. Coy Aiken had himself a day today, Matty.
Man, he did. This is an unbelievable throw and catch. Just great concentration here hauling it in there to the corner of the end zone.
All right, third quarter, Texas Tech looking to start the second half strong. Hammond passes to Terrence Carter Jr., immediately hit, ball's out. Martell Hughes, first turnover of the game. Ball goes to Arizona State. Arizona State looking to capitalize off the turnover. Levitt's pass is incomplete, but there's a penalty. Texas Tech's David Bailey called for roughing the passer. Huge penalty for the Red Raiders defense, who could have stopped the Devils on fourth down there. Instead, first and goal from the 2-yard line. A couple plays later, Arizona State is going to capitalize. There's Jordan Tyson with the score. Tyson was injured earlier. He fakes everybody out with the fake injury on the gritty celebration. Sparky up 16-7. Later in the third, Texas Tech's Jacoby Williams returning the kick. 56 yards to the Arizona State 44. That's actually a touchdown for Will Hammond there. So 19-14. Here is the kick return from Jacoby Williams.
Great job fielding and not letting it bounce. Took it off the one hop. Really good play right there. A lot of people just let that ball bounce.
Huge
around.
momentum.
Great adjustment by him.
I mean, Hammond was struggling here, but great throw here for the touchdown. It was like a Michael Jackson to get in the end zone. A little toe drag swag.
Red Raiders, an incredible comeback in this game. They're going to go for 2 here to try and make it a field goal game. Hammond lowers the shoulder.
I mean, before that play, they actually did not convert, got a flag and got a second chance at it. And then here's Arizona State driving down the field and punching it in to take the lead.
So Texas Tech scored twice within 2 minutes.
cold.
And then the Sun Devils come back. Malik Brown with the score there. Smoke him if you got him. The ball knocked down. It was a good effort by Will Hammond to get that thing up there.
He gave him a chance.
It is, and the ever messy and beautiful Big 12.
That's a fine. That's a fine.
It seemed to have clearly had one superior team in Texas Tech, but man, this conference is now wide open for the taking. 26-22, the final there as the defending Big 12 champs flex their muscles a little bit on the newcomers to the block in Texas Tech. But really, really impressive stuff there. But guys, you know, media days, we'll go back to this. Media days are often a time where coaches go to the podium and they make empty promises about things to come, and usually outlandish and bold predictions, but those are usually kind of forgotten by the time we get around to kickoff. Well, back at SEC Media Days in 2022, one coach got up to the podium and made a particularly audacious but bold claim that maybe later came true. Time now for Guarantee of the Game, presented by AT&T.
We know that in time, Vanderbilt football will be the best program in the country. As I stated a year ago, there are no cheat codes, no shortcuts, no hacks that will allow this to happen overnight. This is still about going the long, hard way, independent of the trends and the headlines generating the most attention right now in college football.
Context is important here because Vanderbilt and Clark Lee were coming off of a season in which they went 2-10. That included a loss to East Tennessee State and a 2-point win over the UConn Huskies. Tomorrow, on Sunday, October 19th, the Vanderbilt Commodores could be ranked inside the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time since 1941. So I'll ask you, Maddie, is Clark Lee's bold prediction finally coming true?
Hell yeah.
3 years later?
Hell yeah, it is. I'm so excited I cut you off there. I apologize.
No,
but
please.
It is. And I think really where it starts is Tim Beck in this offense, right? Clark Lee's identifying his talent as an offensive coordinator, what this offense does. It's a modern version of the wing T, right? That's how I look at it. The play action passes, the vertical passing attack, but it's all about the formations, the shifts, the motions. It's unbelievable how they just allow their offensive line to get great blocking angles, right? The formations allow their star player, like Diego Pavia, the ability to make plays outside of structure while still continuing to stress defenses. Time of possession today, 36 minutes. 67 plays on offense. That was their greatest weapon. The way that they are able to attack defenses constantly, it's a full court press. You have to be gap sound disciplined as a defense. And this guy at the helm with his leadership and his toughness is really just that finishing touch they need to be a championship football team.
Diego Pavia has 13 wins as the Vanderbilt starting QB. In the 5 previous seasons before he got there, Vanderbilt had 12 wins.
Right.
He's not only a winner that's infecting the program that he's within these last 5 years, but he's changed our entire perspective of Vanderbilt. I mean, his ability to scramble and fight for extra yards today was next level, and it impacted the game in so many different ways. And then now Vanderbilt's in a situation where we have to look at them as a contender in the SEC and for the national championship.
No question about it. And you know what's impressive, too? 2 weeks ago, this team was playing at Alabama. They were tied at the half.
Yeah.
They ended up losing that game by 16 points. And Clark Lee and Diego Pavia said going into this game, they were not going to play scared ever again. They were not going to play to lose ever again. And I think that was evident today against a really good LSU defense.
It most definitely was. It was very evident. And that's why I feel like at that Alabama game, when that game was over, I looked at you guys and I was like, I believe Vanderbilt is still
we felt good about them.
A playoff football team from what I saw defensively, offensively. And that's what I love about it, too. It's like, it's a real team. There is no superstar that they're trying to feed the football to or go out of their way to please. It's all about the whole entire group.
How many NFL guys are on Vanderbilt right now?
Man, you know, more than you think.
Really?
More than we think. And I think as the process continues to go, right, we're going to see more of these guys kind of pop up on some of these lists.
Good point.
Right? But for right now, I feel like in the preseason, they just weren't sexy enough. They weren't popular enough as far as like that evaluation goes. But overall, that's why it's the greatest team game ever.
You know what I see from Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
It may not be a team that has a bunch of NFL prospects, but it's a lot of guys that execute and play well together. They understand what the coach wants of them. And sometimes that makes all the difference. You can have talented players who can take over a game and it may be a broken play. They can improvise and do this and do that. But what you need is guys who are in the spots that they're supposed to be when the coach wants them to be there. The reason why they lost to Alabama is because they turned the ball over twice in the red zone when they were in scoring position and gave Alabama 10 points off of 10 points off of turnovers. In this game, they took care of the ball. 0 turnovers. They dominated the line of scrimmage, 239 yards rushing towards LSU's 100. The time of possession, you spoke about that as well. They got after the quarterback. Look at this. Diego can do both. I love that our production crew came up with that. 6th game with 3 passing touchdowns and rushing touchdowns, tied for 5th in the SEC. But this guy is a 5'10 quarterback that plays with such a fire. And I love the comparison that you gave us the other week, Matt, where you said he's like a Baker Mayfield.
Dude, he is. He is the Baker Mayfield of college football. And just, it's not about the flash. It's just about being gritty and just willing your team to victory. And this is why it's the greatest position of all sports. And this is why this is the greatest sport, in the history, because of just all of those things that we just mentioned, and that was great points.
So that's the Vanderbilt side of things. Let's flip things over to the Bayou Bengals here because they picked up a potentially playoff eliminating loss. With the schedule that they have remaining, when you look at Texas A&M and Alabama on the horizon, things don't look great. The outlook of the LSU Tigers and Brian Kelly, who, Scoob, is 5-10 against ranked opponents at LSU. What do you think the panic meter should be for LSU fans right now?
Well, your season's not completely over yet because we've learned that anyone can lose at any given time. But if there was like green, orange, and red, I'll be right between orange and red if I was an LSU fan because you can't predict the future, so you're not going to say, all right, we're completely screwed. But what I will say is I'm concerned now with the future of this program under Brian Kelly. Because we know he left Notre Dame to go to LSU where he felt like he could compete for national championships more. But now what we're seeing is Notre Dame has been in the playoff. Notre Dame has competed for a national championship. And Brian Kelly is still trying to find his way into the postseason. And you're losing these games that are high-stakes games. And I don't know if there's He maybe has one signature win that I can think of with Jaden Daniels in Alabama when they beat them. But besides that, I can't give you anything else. And you have prolific players on that roster.
I think the biggest issue I have with LSU is that, well, to me, I felt like this was coming, right? It was only a matter of time before they were going to get got, right? Offensively, just not good enough. 12th in total offense in the SEC, 8th in passing with 258, 16th in rushing. Right? That's just not good enough football. 12th in scoring, average of 25 points per game, and that's inflated with the Southeast Louisiana victory with 50 points. So the offense, just everything is so difficult for them to move the football. We see that Garrett Nussmeier is talented, but just it's too hard for them to create explosive plays and to keep up with some of these teams that we saw against Vanderbilt today. The offensive line play, and the running ability is not there for this team, in my opinion, to make a run in a national championship.
After regular season finishes of 9-3, 9-3, and 8-4 to begin his tenure at LSU, I think they might be lucky to get back to that point. But you mentioned it, Scoob. Back at Notre Dame, his last 4 years there, 11-1, 10-0, 10-2, 12-0.
Right.
But look, if Ed Orgeron and Les Miles can win national championships at LSU, a coach like Brian Kelly, or at least his caliber,
that's the standard. That's what they want.
That's the expectation. But Vanderbilt is set up to make a push to make it to Atlanta and play in an SEC championship. One of the reasons being, I think at least, is because they don't have to face a Georgia or an Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin and the 5th-ranked Rebels went down between the hedges and got themselves into an absolute shootout against the Dogs. Not sure about you guys, but coming into this game, I just didn't have a ton of confidence in either of these teams, which is somewhat ironic because they're both ranked in the top 10. But more often than not, these top 10 showdowns come down to the fourth quarter. It's one of the reasons we put up the 4 when we get to the fourth quarter. Georgia scored 17 points on 143 yards of total offense in the fourth quarter of this game. Ole Miss 0 points on 13 yards of total offense, as you said, Maddie.
It got quiet in the fourth.
They had the ball for 1 minute and 53 seconds of the fourth quarter when it was crunch time, right? And you're not going to be able to win the football game. And I think really, let's give, hey, Georgia fans, get ready. Let's give Mike Bobo a little love. Okay, good for you. He's evolving, a little bit more aggressive. A flea flicker to start the game to Colby Young. Unfortunately, Colby Young leaves the football game. We don't know how serious that is yet.
Tough.
But he knows that the team is built around who? Gunnar Stockton in the skill group. Right? It's all about Frazier, Bowens, the skill group with Dylan Bell. Zachariah Branch has been an awesome addition to this group.
So good.
Right?
Yeah.
Landon Humphreys has come up clutch, especially against Tennessee. All right, let's not forget about that one. All right, Lawson Lucky and Oscar Dell.
Lawson Lucky, what a day.
Let's get the tight ends the ball more because I think they are huge difference makers for this offense.
National Tight End Day is October 26th. It's just a little bit early. They're celebrating.
A little early. And you know what? The truth is, too, is that this guy's legs, like Diego Pavia, are also that final ingredient that make them a really difficult team to defend. So Gunnar Stockton, his grittiness, Mike Bobo's evolution of his offense, making it about the skill group and the quarterback, it's awesome, man. And we know one thing, by the fourth quarter, I have faith that Kirby Smart will figure it out. Even though he doesn't have the Johnnies and Joes, he does still have his prowess of the X's and O's to figure it out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, one of the problems with Georgia coming into this game that everyone was concerned about is their fast starts. Are you going to be able to start the game fast? They had lacked that not just this season, but it's something that we have seen for a couple of seasons with Georgia. However, Georgia scored on their first 8 drives of the game and became the first team to score on each of its first 8 drives against a top 5 team in 20 years. So this is something that we haven't seen consistently for them. They were able to establish a run. They were able to air out the put air in the ball with the passing game. And quite frankly, if you would have told me it was going to be a 43-35 game, I wouldn't have believed it because that sounds way too high for these offenses to get up there and score. But it was a fun football game, and what you can always expect from this Georgia team, when they're down, they are going to be cool and collective and just do what they do. Ole Miss scored, and you thought at one point, like, this game was going to be away. But Georgia got the ball. They ran the ball. They passed. They went through their offense and did not panic. And still won. This is their identity. They're cool under pressure, and I think that's one of the most important things.
That's it. That's right. Nothing is like too big for them. They're always just poised and ready to go, and it's always the next play. It's always just, hey, focus on what we can do, execute, move on, let's keep going. And I love it today. Like, here's the SEC. I mean, everyone's scoring. It was like the Big 12. And there's the Big 12 playing like an SEC-style football game, right? So I don't know if we're in a parallel universe or what, but still, it was really fun, super entertaining. And even though Georgia doesn't look like a national championship contender, with Kirby Smart, with that offense, I'm going to take them in a lot of matchups just because I know that he'll manage the game the right way.
Yeah, and the thing about Diego, I was going to call him Diego Pavia. the thing about Gunnar Stockton, man, he was hurt coming into this game. He had a core issue, and Kirby Smart said coming into the game, they told Gunnar, like, we're not going to run you. We're going to try not to run you as much. But then he looked at Coach like, I'm going to do what I have to do, Coach. We're going to drive down this field, and I'm going to show the guys that I'm going to put my body on the line, and I'm going to run the ball, and I'm going to play the best game that I've ever had in a Georgia uniform. 12 for 12 in the second half, throwing the ball.
Yeah.
He did everything. He was the best player for Georgia today. And that was the biggest question mark for me with this Georgia team. How good is Gunnar Stockton going to be? If he can play at this level for the rest of the season,
man,
now,
he's been doing it.
Right?
To me, the Tennessee game was like the coming out party, and I think that's when they started to realize, okay, our skill group is good, right? The offense, maybe we got some untapped potential here.
Sure.
And I think now they're just, hey, it's all about, hey, Bobo, Gunner in this offense, and let Kirby do his thing on the defensive side and figure it out.
No question. I also still feel pretty good about Ole Miss and where they're at with Trinidad Chambliss going on the road and doing what they did. It was an impressive performance there, although coming up with the loss, both teams now 6-1 as we move forward. You can also catch us every single week right where you're watching us right now, 11 p.m. Eastern time or anytime on YouTube. Don't forget to start your day with Countdown to Game Day starting at 8:20 a.m. Eastern time. Either way, we got you covered before and after all the big games. Every single Saturday, we'll break down every big game, every upset, and every notable storyline from the day all season long. Your Saturdays belong right here. Time now for the playbook presented by Modelo. We go back to the touchscreen with our very own QB, Matt Sims. Matty, when you look at what Vanderbilt did to LSU today, you look back at what Vanderbilt has been over the last couple of years.
Right.
In the 5 years prior to Diego Pavia's arrival in Nashville, this team won 12 games combined. Diego Pavia won his 13th game in a Vanderbilt uniform today in just a year and a half of work. And no, is he not like the best quarterback in the country? Probably not. At least in the traditional sense. All right. But he's a playmaker in every sense of the word. What did you see on the tape today?
What did we see? When we watch Diego Pavia and this offense by Tim Beck, you're going to see a ton of formations, and you're going to just see a constant press on the defense that they're playing. Because of the formations, because of the shifts, the variations, the gap discipline in the run game, and of course his playmaking ability on top of that is really difficult. Love this concept here. So it's a 2nd and 8 concept here that we're going to run, and we're in a tight condensed split again. So you see the theme that we've been talking about a little bit in college football. A lot of teams taking advantage of these condensed splits.
Right.
We're going to run basically like a sit and then out route here. It's going to be a deep field post like this. We're going to pull the guard here to make it seem like we are running some sort of action out of the backfield. We got the back in the flat right here, but this is really what we're trying to do for this play design. All of this is window dressing. The real play is about the tight end delaying at the line of scrimmage and running a shallow cross, and the back, who we're going to fake out of the backfield, just running that rail route. So the real concept with all of this window dressing is the rail number 1, the shallow cross number 2 to Spence. And we're going to get a lot of action post-snap here. We got the guard pulling. We got that weak side tight end working across here to the flat. Notice now the LSU defenders right here, the linebackers, get lost in the backfield. Right here, look at all. Everyone now realizes play action pass. Okay, we got to get back into our passing lanes. You can see, though, the stress that it put on the middle backers. Everyone is out of place. They're quickly retracing their step to get back into coverage, and look how wide open the middle of the field is for Cole Spence, right? Easy completion for Diego Pavia. He's got a running start. Not really sure about the hurdle there, but still, Tim Beck able to design a play to take advantage of LSU being aggressive by their linebackers, leaving a huge void in the middle of that defense.
And I think when we think of playmakers for Vanderbilt, at least going back to last year, you think of a name like Eli Stowers. Well, Cole Spence has been kind of that escape valve. We saw him here today, and it was kind of the exclamation point at the end of this drive.
Well, this is what's great about this offense, too. So here we go. We got to bring an extra tackle in the football game. So we got a big dude in there. Then we got 3 tight ends, right, in this formation. We're going to be in a tight split again, and we're making it seem like, hey, we're going to run the football. We're going to just pound it into the end zone for this touchdown. So we're going to run a fake zone and boot here by Diego Pavia. The tight end here outside, right? He's going to block out. As the defender loses sight, right, and gets his eyes in the backfield, peeking and being too aggressive, he's going to release and run that corner route. The only other eligible guy going out for a route is this opposite tight end running the deep over. So for Diego Pavia, after the play fake with the running back, he's going to get outside and he's going to go the corner to the over, and then for me to run.
Right.
That's it. That's the play design. And when you get a team with this formation like this, of course LSU has to respect the run, be gap sound throughout the field, right? But watch right here, the defender, the LSU defender. Eyes get stuck in the backfield. He slips him wide open for the touchdown there. So again, Vanderbilt taking advantage of just an over-aggressive defense that's thinking, stop the run, poor eye discipline, slips him, and then that's just a walk-in right there for Diego to just toss it over the top.
You mentioned it, too. There's a lot of great OCs in the game, a lot of great OCs in this conference.
Yes.
Tim Beck doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he designs for his quarterback, but it's also like, just have a guy that's an athlete out there to go make a play.
No doubt. Well, I think it's the perfect just mix of everything, right? It's the offense, it's the quarterback being a playmaker on top of that. And also, too, there's no like superstar that they have to take care of. Right? Everyone kind of knows that they have a role. It's specific to the game plan. They do it to their best of their availability. And it's like, hey, do your job and the ball will come and find you, right? Really fun play here, 4th and 1 situation. I love this concept because we got a tight end here and then the wide receiver on the line of scrimmage. So this tight end is ineligible. He can't catch the football here. We're going to run a low cross by this guy right here. This back in the backfield is actually going to come out and he's going to run basically like an out route from that backfield. This guy on the opposite side is going to be running the flat. So really what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get this back into the flat, the tight end to the flat for a first down.
I'm kind of thinking run, though, if I'm LSU defense.
Absolutely, and that's what they want you to think, right? You can see that they have to play again to stop the run with this formation. We can be aggressive and attack here to the field. We can be aggressive and run back on backer here to the weak side if we want to. And that's where they're putting in all these tough positions for defenses. They're going to fake inside zone. Diego Pavia is going to try to get outside here. They do a great job of covering the initial play design of this play, right? And as we show you, right, LSU, great job. Everyone's passing everything off. We got the over covered. We're going to cover this out route by the safety right here. We got this shallow right here covered again. And now this is where Diego Pavia, the finishing touch.
This is dead.
This is a dead play right here. And great job. Change of direction. Hey, with like a little bit better ball security, but it doesn't matter, right? Because we're balling. Unbelievable change of direction, short area, suddenness, retreating, getting ground, and then MK Young, right? Just finding the open space there and just Diego being a playmaker. Huge moment in the football game, 24-21, 4th and 1. And you just see Diego Pavia just like, man, so relaxed. In that situation, so many quarterbacks would just make an error, throw the football away, right, cause a turnover, and his composure in these type of situations is ridiculous.
It's just the time of the game, too. They were on their own half. It was 4th and 1, so they get the conversion. And then later on in that same drive, Pavia does what we know he can do, which is use his legs.
This is another really fun play, right? As I'm watching them, I can't help but enjoy watching what Tim Beck does offensively. So we have 2 tight ends in the football game again. We got 2 receivers and a back. As soon as we see a running back in this position where he's cheated up in front of the quarterback, you got to think automatic pass situation. We're going to do a speed motion by this receiver to fake that speed sweep to the outside. This tight end right here is going to run a seam pass right down the middle. We got a go route on the outside, and then this halfback is also running a seam right down the middle. So we're going to fake like we're going outside zone here, right, or speed sweep with this outside receiver. We're trying to get the LSU defense to go sideline to sideline, and as they overplay that, we're trying to get the seam right behind them after that. What I love about it is this, though. As soon as this happens, speed sweep goes. The corner blitzes, right? We got a cap blitz off the edge. There's no one to account for this. The tackle sees it and is working his way out there. You can see in the initial play design, hey, if Diego had time, probably could have ripped this to a back shoulder for a completion, right? He's got to move up in the pocket because of that corner blitz. Does a great job avoiding that. Well, guess what? If he didn't have to do that, the running back is also going to be open for a touchdown. So they had 2 guys potentially open for a first down. The tackle does get a piece of him, but as Diego is working up in the pocket, the Red Sea parts, poor gap discipline again by LSU. Look at LSU's defense. Look at how out of place they are by the motion, by the formations, and by the constant attack of the Vanderbilt offense. And that's why Diego Pavia can literally just walk into the end zone, go hang out with his boys from Army, and celebrate in the end zone.
And also do the Heisman pose, too, right?
That's right.
I mean, he came into Week 8 with 50-1 odds to win the Heisman. That was cut in half after his performance today.
Where is it?
25-1 odds to win the Heisman. Now, yeah, there it is, Maddie. As you
there it is.
Right there.
There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Hit
right.
that flex.
My man.
Hit that flex.
The deuce.
Overarching thoughts, though, Maddie.
Yes.
LSU is one of the best defenses in the entire country, and Pavia and Tim Beck did that to them
They
today.
did. Now, you know how I felt about LSU's defense. I wasn't quite so sure. I thought the secondary was good. Wasn't quite so sure about the defensive front.
No,
Whit Weeks not being there, right? I'm glad we're on the same page there. That's a big piece missing. But still, even a healthy Whit Weeks, I still think Vanderbilt runs for over 260 because he's a dude. The scheme is awesome. It's difficult to defend. And they were in complete control from start to finish in this game with time of possession.
Unbelievable. And by the way, the Doors get set to host Missouri next week before going on the road to see Texas.
Yes,
so
sir.
things don't get easier going forward. But that was the playbook presented by Modelo. Before we get to our top plays, Scoob, we have a Saturday shout-out we want to get to.
We got to shout out my alma mater, Curry College. This is Monty Quinn, last year's leading rusher in the nation for Division III, and today he broke a record. That graphic you see on the bottom is correct, ladies and gentlemen. 522 yards rushing on 20 carries in Curry's win against the Nichols. Shout out to the Colonels, shout out to Monty, and this is just insane. What do you average? 26 yards per carry, Matt?
26 and a half.
I'm not good at math, man. I don't know. This sounds like a lot.
I think it was like 26 and a half yards per carry. It was ridiculous, but congratulations to Monty. All right, we go to our top plays of Week 8. LSU visiting Vandy, as we just saw. Tigers lacking explosive plays, but that's where Xavier Thomas comes in. He delivers on the 62-yard house. Cole Thomas, unstoppable on that play.
Huge play in the game. This really was the one play that just revitalized LSU to get them back in the football game and made it a little bit more stressful for Diego Pavia in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff there on that play, but not great stuff for the game. How about this? This is great. Duke, Georgia Tech. Sometimes you get a pass and wow. In order to make it nice, you got to catch it twice. This is Duke's Jake Taylor doing a lot of work for just a 4-yard gain, but pretty cool, right? You know what I mean? Just a little concentration there, a little hot potato here. You still make the grab to end up on top plays.
Great concentration there. Let's go to Tulane, the Green Wave. Shaz Preston, would you like me to wipe the needle off your ficus tree, Preston? Okay, unbelievable, Preston. Great concentration.
Yes,
that's a boy.
You're damn right, that's a catch.
You see that? Scooby's everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's all over the place.
It's about time we got those graphics up here. I'm excited. I'm fired up now.
All right, here we go. Montana hosting Sacred Heart. Grizzlies quarterback Kalia Yacht scrambling to his right, back to his left, then throws a touchdown. This got the scoring started. By the way, the Grizzlies put up 22 in the first quarter. It was never close. My friend, Yacht, if you keep making plays like that, you can buy yourself a yacht.
Fire up the Skubie gif again, because Ole Miss visiting Georgia in this heavyweight slugfest. Trinidad Chambliss says, Deuce, I choose you. Oh. Because just like Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. Deuce Alexander.
What a catch.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Incredible catch by Deuce. One-handed. Ole Miss did not win the game, but they won that play.
Deuce is wild. I love it.
All right, Maddie, what do we got?
Here we go. Phil Simms. First of all, I love you, Dad. Big guy is getting the Morehead State's stadium named after him. And, just a tremendous honor to a guy that has accomplished so much. And, just really proud of him. And, man, I mean, what a quarterback. What a dude.
Legend.
From Morehead State. Being drafted in the first round of the New York Giants from Kentucky. And doing what he did in the NFL for 15 years. Being a Super Bowl MVP. Love you, Big Phil. You're the man. That's a terrible haircut right there. But you were the absolute.
Wow, look at that.
You were the man. You were the man, big guy.
You should be Big Phil for Halloween this year.
Man.
You should put on a wig with that haircut. I can see that.
Grow it out,
It would be great.
I mean, I am a spitting image of that dude right there. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, Big Phil.
Congratulations,
man.
Big Phil.
You're the man. You're the GOAT.
No doubt about it. Transcendent figure in the game of football.
Top play there.
Top play.
But we got some not top plays as well. So let's go ahead and get to those. And we're starting off with Big Bill. How about Bill Belichick? A little ACC after dark. They're on their way to their first ACC win, but Nathan Leacock coughs it up at the 1-yard line here right before getting into the end zone. I don't know how many times I've seen like 1-yard fumbles this year.
A lot right at the goal line. Yeah, Duke had one earlier today too.
In the NFL, in college football, it's everywhere.
Oklahoma visiting South Carolina today. This was all Sooners, and plays like this are the reason why. South Carolina attempting a fake punt. Everybody in the entire stadium knew it because, well, that's what South Carolina can do. But this was just kind of telegraphed and thrown right the interception to the Oklahoma defender.
All right, here, let's watch this play. San Jose State taking on Utah State. And
watch the ref.
My God, what is the ref doing?
I love the sell here. Love the. Well, 3 ranked-on-ranked matchups in the SEC here in Week 8, tied for the most in a conference play on single day in SEC history as the race to Atlanta heats up. Here we go, second quarter, 7 minutes left to go. Ryan Niblett returning a 45-yard punt return down to the 5-yard line.
Can you notice it was the special teams that got Texas down over there, and it was huge to be able to do this.
3rd and goal, Trey Wisner takes it in for a score. Texas up 7-0. We're going to go to the fourth quarter here. This one would be close late. Cutter Boley is going to take this himself for a 16-yard score. We are tied at 10 apiece in the fourth.
Kentucky is a type of team that will drag you into the mud and make you fight real dirty.
Later on in the fourth, 50 seconds left to go. Cats down 3. Boley takes a hit, 16 yards for the first down. Kentucky in field goal range. Jacob Coway, 46-yard field goal is good. We head to overtime. Texas, fresh off that Red River rivalry win. They thought this might be a little bit of an easier road, but no. Kentucky had other thoughts.
This had every remnants of a Ole Miss versus Kentucky game, but
Mason
Texas,
Shipley,
oh my gosh,
takes care of business. 45-yard field goal. Texas wins it 16-13. They can't leave Lexington fast enough. Arch Manning, 12 for 27, 132. It was just kind of one of those games. You go up to Lexington, Kentucky, you never know what you're going to get at Kroger Field and Commonwealth Stadium. But, yeah, man, Texas just happy to come away with a win there.
Hey, survive in advance. Cutter played really well today, though.
He did.
For a team that's really struggling to find just an identity offensively and getting solid quarterback play, good job by Cutter Boley. Hopefully they can build off of this going forward.
Yeah, hopefully Texas can build off of this. But we know 2 teams that have their quarterbacks. That is Tennessee, Alabama. First quarter, no score. Ty Simpson looks deep and finds Ryan Williams, who makes a catch so nasty it deserves a Pusha T. Yuck. Another look, Matt. Look at that.
I'm not looking.
Yuck.
I'm not looking. I don't care.
Nasty.
I don't care about this highlight. That was a pretty cool slide right there off the catch.
All right, later in the drive, Simpson finds Isaiah Horton for 3+3. I know you care about this. This is one of your favorite players.
Man, really good route right there. A little whip route in the low red zone, faking the slant, putting the foot in the ground, and breaking back out. Good throw and rhythm.
Tennessee trying to answer in the second quarter. Joey Aguilar finds Braylon Staley here, and he's on the run like DMC. Gets tripped up at the 2-yard line, but it's cool. Bring it back. Come rewind. Aguilar to Staley again, and this time it's for 6. Tennessee ties the game at 7. Matt was celebrating. Big Tennessee fan in the room.
Hate to say it, that was the best drive of the night for Tennessee.
Yeah,
all right, guys, that's
back
enough.
to the end zone. Aguilar looking to throw,
Ew.
tripped up, tries to get rid of it, but that is intentional grounding. Safety. Alabama gets 2 points. Next drive for Alabama. Oh, that's my jam. Jam Miller punches it in for 6. Good to see him back in the game after the injury last week. All right, 9 seconds left in the half. Aguilar trying to cash in before the half. Instead, he has to write a reality check because you pay for your mistakes. Picked off by Xavier Brown. And hello, operator. Yes, we're making a house call. Alabama takes a 23-7 lead into the half. Time expires. Oh my God, OMG. That's what every Tennessee fan was saying, including our own Matt Sims. Tennessee's first drive of the second half. It's okay. Here they are, Deshaun Bishop. Working out. 44 yards. Excuse me. Too fast, too furious. Nice run.
Bishop takes Rook.
I like that. There we go. Now you can have some fun with it there as they make it closer. But Ty Simpson over here ends up finding Horton. And he fights his way for another touchdown. He's such a good football player. Alabama goes up 30-13. Fourth quarter now. Tennessee is trying to stay in this thing. Bishop. Does he take Rook again? Of course. Gets in for the touchdown. Tennessee is back down 10. We got a ball game in the fourth. But on this day, Alabama will not be denied. Daniel Hill. Yes, sir.
That looked like a hold to me.
Daniel will score the touchdown as Alabama gets the 37-20 win over Tennessee. The cigars were lit up in this game. Ty Simpson lit it up, but the turnovers were costly. You can't deny that interception at halftime completely swung things around. And I know for reference for everyone who was watching, Matt was like, run the ball, I don't care.
Everyone was saying, in this situation, throw the football, so if it's incomplete, you can kick the field goal. I said F that. Line up, let them know you're running it, actually tell them where you're running it, and get it in the damn end zone, old school style, and impose your will on the road and show your team's toughness. And when this interception happened, first of all, great play by Xavier Brown. Great adjustment. Yeah. He's playing the run. Then he identifies it. Joey Aguilar has to throw the football around a defender that's able to get in the backfield quickly. He leaves it inside. Xavier Brown makes him pay. And that was the game. That was the play that changed the game. And honestly, to me, as soon as that play happened, I was like, it's going to be very difficult for Tennessee to recover from that.
So Alabama wins 4 straight against ranked opponents, which is just ridiculous in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. Great. So such a great note right there.
And we talk about Ty Simpson in this offense, rightfully so. The timeliness of Alabama's defense can't be ignored.
Yeah.
You look at the Xavier Brown interception there. You go back to 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt, the 2 interceptions in the red zone. This is it's not a unbreakable Alabama defense. We've seen them get carved up in the run game a little bit, but clutch, I think, is a fair word. They come up with big time stops when they need them, and I think that's kind of the recipe for a team to make a run, at least deep into the season, into the postseason.
Yeah, well, we already know that their offense is really dynamic, and they have a great offensive play caller in Ryan Grubb. Really creative. If you just take a look at some of their short yardage situations, he has a lot of misdirections, a lot of fun ways to put his players in the best position to succeed. But when you look at their defensive side of the ball, they were vulnerable towards the run, and they were able to clean that up. We saw that against Vandy, a team that can really gash you and run the ball well. Right. Alabama was able to stop the bleeding, even though Vandy gashed them earlier on in the game. And then when you look at how they performed in this game, the turnover before half, I mean, the understanding of the situation that they're probably not going to run the ball here. For Xavier Brown to keep his eyes on the quarterback and jump that route and have the speed and the mindset to house it was really impressive. And this is becoming the Alabama team that everyone was hoping it would become after Nick Saban. What I really like here is the fact that they were able to be better in terms of controlling the clock, the penalties. They could still clean it up, 7 for 59. That's something that I've continued to be worried about this team. But great win, man, and great performance once again from Ty Simpson. Alabama, Matt, you said this when we were in the war room watching this game. I'm probably the most confident in them out of any other team in the SEC.
Well, and it's good. We need to find some team out of the SEC that we can invest in, right? Yeah. And I think Alabama, to me, is like one of the clear favorites of that, and it really starts with the fact that just Ty Simpson
is SEC bias here.
It's just that. Listen, where the hell did that guy come from? All right. I feel like I was just like playing Mortal Kombat there for a second, like whoopsies. But either way, right? The difference of the game was this: Alabama red zone offense is one of the best in the nation now, right? It's 9th in the country. It's 96% success rate.
4 for
4 today, right? Yep. The red zone defense, right, was clutch. Tennessee had 5 opportunities in the low red zone area, only came away with 2 scores, right? So the red zone defense for Alabama was huge. Yes, it's a bend but don't break style. There's no doubt about that. The rushing defense is a concern, right? That is one of their weaknesses, and Tennessee was able to take advantage of that. Tennessee was able to throw the football more effectively than I think we've seen other teams against Alabama so far this year, but the problem was it just didn't result in enough explosive touchdown plays for them. So Tennessee has shown improvements, right, and they have the skill set to be a contender, but yet in critical moments they have fallen short in the Georgia game and then again here against Alabama in the low red zone before.
Shout out the YouTube chat. The whole show I've been trying to involve y'all in our discussion, and what somebody said is everyone had us buried after game 1. What about now? Georgia, Vandy, Missouri, and Tennessee all down. Bama should be ranked at least in the top 3 after this week.
2 of those that you just mentioned were losses that they avenged from last year.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, Tennessee.
That's right.
They got Oklahoma coming up just down the stretch a little bit. All right, so that was Tennessee and Alabama. Bama picking up the win there. In a weekend filled with big games, maybe no bigger game in terms of consequences as it pertains to the college football playoff than this one. Notre Dame and USC. Notre Dame picking up a crucial win because as it stands right now, USC was the only team that was ranked remaining on their schedule, and a big win, a two-score win, 34-24, the final there. It was getting to smoke them if you got them time for Notre Dame. I mean, you can hope that Pitt would be ranked at the end of the season, but this game was monumental. And oh, by the way, just to take a second out before we get into this conversation, please, let's keep playing this rivalry because right now this is the last one that's on the books for quite a while. It would be sad to see this game go away. It means so much to the fabric of college football.
Yeah.
Rivalries are what makes the sport so great, so it would be really sad to see this game go by the wayside. But let's get into this game and what we saw. Notre Dame, I think, losing to A&M and losing to Miami out of the gate by, what was it, combined 4 points. A lot of people wrote this team off, but we're seeing how, good. I know the Miami loss sullies that a little bit, but those are still really good losses. I hate to say that. This game, they needed to win. You got to have wins on your resume, and Notre Dame finally picked up a win. What did you see from Notre Dame in this game, Maddie?
I think the biggest thing that we saw from Notre Dame, one, the 2 running backs again, right? We're just another confirmation of a game that Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love are the best running back duo in the country.
Yeah.
The most effective running back duo in the country with the way that they use them. The other aspect, the defense. Man, best performance of the year. This was a team that, Southern Cal. What they did to Michigan just a week ago.
Best offense in the country.
Best offense in the country. And Christian Gray, Leonard Moore, the safeties, Adon Schuler, phenomenal on the back end covering. Christian Gray with the interception.
That was a huge interception.
Great job of just the same thing that we said about Alabama, right? Made the plays when they needed to, bend, don't break, and especially, too, just covering on the back end and taking away explosive plays from guys like Mekhi Lemon, who at this point were basically unstoppable this whole year.
306 yards rushing for Notre Dame, only 136 yards passing. What they did in this game is the identity of this team. Yes, C.J. Carr was starting to get a lot of the love for this team with the way that he was playing at the quarterback position. But this is a game actually where he had to settle down and let those 2 running backs who are so dynamic do their thing, because the interception that he threw was inexcusable, where he ran around the pocket and really should have just thrown the ball away, but kind of YOLO'd it towards the end zone. And it was an interception. He's lucky. He was lucky that it didn't end up being as costly because his defense was able to force 3 turnovers by themselves. Now, this Notre Dame team is going to lean on their defense, is going to lean on their run game, and the fact that they were able to win this game, to your point that you were saying earlier, Sam, it is everything for them, because when you look towards the rest of their schedule, it is not necessarily appealing towards a college football playoff committee. Now, the thing about Notre Dame, they're going to be able to say this towards the end of the season: we had some good losses, and there's a good chance that their 2 losses were against top 10 teams or top 15 teams, depending on where Miami ends up falling out. But you're going to look at them at the end of the season and say they are one of the hottest teams in the country. They're playing some of their best football. They can run the ball, and they have a quarterback who can throw it periodically.
We have our rankings reaction show is coming back, by the way, first Tuesday in November. Make sure you tune in after the rankings are released by the College Football Playoff Committee. But it's tough to say right now, but if Notre Dame goes 10-2, do you think they should be in the college football playoff?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I do, because I think the defense is getting better by each week, right? So Chris Ash is finally figuring out how to use this unit in its proper ways. I think the secondary is one of the better secondaries in the country. I think it's not going to go away that way. They're going to be able to cover basically everybody.
Yeah.
It's a good linebacker unit, too, led by Drake Bowen. The defensive line, would I like to be a little bit more disruptive? Absolutely. Only had 2 sacks today, but they had 6 tackles for loss.
Special teams, man. Well,
What
about that return?
You know, that's a great
huge
point. That's a great point. And that's the other aspect of it, too. Very similar to what we were talking about with Kirby Smart earlier. I trust Marcus Freeman to manage the game well and to be able to calculate risk properly when it matters most and say, all right, hey, I'm gonna take a shot with my offense. I'm gonna take a shot with special teams, like you mentioned, Skubie. And I think that really is what makes them a special group going forward.
USC, by the way, 2-11 on the road since 2023. It's the worst record on the road in all of college football, in all of FBS. So
that's amazing.
Lincoln Riley, and I know there were some skewed metrics there in 2023, but this team cannot figure it out going on the road. This was a tough loss for USC.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough loss, too, as you look down the schedule. USC plays Oregon later on the season, so this gets a little bit dicey for USC fans trying to hope that they can make their team a college football playoff contender down the stretch. All right, for rivalry games, maybe none more vitriolic than BYU and Utah. 24,
you know he's going to
21.
drop one of them things on us.
What does vitriolic mean?
Intense.
There you go.
Yeah. Angry. 24-21 the final there.
I'm very vitriolic. Especially watching Tennessee play.
You are. You are.
Fans felt that way when they watched me play at Tennessee.
BYU 7-0. These two teams, this was kind of who was going to run it more. I was surprised how much offense we got in this game. But, Utah had struggled in this matchup, losing the last 2 against BYU. And there's BYU winning 3 straight against the Utes. This was, I think, the first time since 2009 that this Holy War was a ranked-on-ranked matchup. So that was also cool to see. Devin Dampier limited again today, just 12 for 22 with 165 air yards and a touchdown. And then Bear Bachmeier, true freshman there, has done solid work for BYU. When you look at the outcome of this game and you look at the conference that both these teams play in now, BYU sitting at 7-0, tied with Cincinnati at the top of the Big 12. It's incredible to see what has transpired.
Has that on my bingo card.
Yeah, that's what we all did, right? You feel any more confidence about this BYU team? I feel like they were there late last year, just couldn't really close the door. How do we feel about this iteration?
I do like them a lot. I think just they're kind of like a Vanderbilt, right, of the Big 12, right, where they can find ways to win. It's a balanced football team. Bear is tough, just like Diego Pavia. It's built around just him being physical in the running attack. They're, I feel like, a little limited in their passing attack at some points, or maybe just too heavily focused on running the football. But I think this team is a good, solid football team that's not going anywhere, and I expect them to be there in the end of the Big 12.
Yeah, if your quarterback wears number 47, I'm just going to guess that you're running the wing T, and you're going to be running the ball the majority of the game.
No doubt. It looks. I love the way it looks, though. I think it's so cool. It was like, man, I should have wore something like that when I played. But it's awesome.
But
the team that I see, though, that I really like right there, we got 2 Sams.
We got 2 of me. That's a problem.
My team in the Big 12, Cincinnati. Give me Brendan Sorsby.
You're buying the Sorsby stock.
Yeah, give me Sorsby. I think he's one of the more underappreciated quarterbacks in the country, and just the way that he plays in their offense, I think
you don't like Texas Tech?
I do.
Does this loss really throw them out for you?
No, they don't. But Skygill Howard getting hurt and being out for the year is a concern for me.
The Baron Morton thing is a little concerning, too. I think Will Hammond has kind of come back down to earth a little bit.
No doubt. Being the guy is different, right, than just coming in and being in relief, right? So I think that's a little different. We saw that today. And, man, Kenny Dillingham, when he's got to have it, he can dial it up and win tough football games like that. But I really like Cincinnati right now.
Did you see the post game of Kenny Dillingham? He basically didn't even want to talk because he was so emotional. But, I mean, huge win for him and Arizona State because
come on, Kenny. Grown men cry.
Right? This season was not what we had expected from them. It was supposed to be like the comeback year for them after such a successful year last season. But for me, I'm still with Texas Tech. Yeah. Maybe it's because how much money is put into that team, but they got so many different weapons and ways to beat you. And I think they beat themselves a little bit more than they lost the game today.
Right.
A lot of the turnovers, missed opportunities, misses, breakdowns in coverage. So I just think Texas Tech, if they clean it up and don't beat themselves, and if they have a healthy Bear Morton, an experienced quarterback, they're going to be in a better position. But the Big 12, as we learn every single year, it just has so much parity and volatility.
Surprised, too, that Arizona State was able to protect Sam Leavitt so well today.
Yeah.
Right? I really, I thought for sure, like, Texas Tech was just going to actually run them
That's
over
a great
and
point.
just out-physical them. But, credit to Sam Leavitt and his ability to make plays outside the pocket, too. He played really well today.
All right, before we get out of here, let's just do a quick whip around, kind of summarizing what we saw today, and we'll give you our favorites for each of the conferences here.
This is tough.
Big 12, Scoob, you're on the Texas Tech train still? You said Tech?
Yes.
Maddie, Big 12 favorite right now as we
I'm
head to the
going to go
back
with
half?
Cincinnati. Give me the Bearcats, Coach.
Okay. I'm going to go with Arizona State. They won it last year. I'm not going to count them out. There are 11 teams, by the way, in the Big 12 that I think have 2 losses or less. So that'll be.
I think the whole conference is wide open right now.
Speaking of wide open, the SEC wide open this year. Favorite in the SEC as we stand today, following the Week 8 results, guys. Maddie?
I have to go with Alabama, and then after that, I'm going to say Texas A&M and Georgia in a close tied for second for me.
I'm going to go Alabama, Georgia, and then Texas A&M. And
I
Alabama,
like Missouri
I think,
too, honestly.
Yeah.
Say what?
I like Missouri too.
Yeah, I do. I feel like they came down. They came down to earth a little bit for me last week after they lost to Alabama. But Georgia has looked. We talked about it earlier in the show. The fact that Gunnar Stockton can play that level of football, coming off of a week where he was hurt, he didn't practice Monday or Tuesday, had to practice Wednesday just because he was so banged up, and to play that way, impressive.
I'm not counting Ole Miss out, by the way, after this loss. Look at their schedule coming up. They have some very winnable games. Big Ten, favorite in this. I mean, are we all in agreement with Ohio State, right?
Ohio State and Indiana.
They're the best team in the country right now?
They're the best 2 teams.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, I feel like you can make a case for Indiana being the best team in the country in a lot of ways just by the way that they're playing. But Julian saying, Fernando Mendoza, wow, are they playing some really good football right now. So those 2 teams are not going anywhere. Yeah, Ohio State's definitely.
It's not really close. It's those 2, and then there's a pretty significant drop-off.
Yeah, someone just said OSU versus Bama in the Natty in the chat. Yeah, well, once again, we are looking at the YouTube chat. It would be a lot of fun, but I think you're right. It's definitely Ohio State and Indiana, even though Indiana's kind of at the top right now. A little bit of a slow start for them today against Michigan State, but they were able to turn things back up. Fernando Mendoza and Surratt.
Yeah, Mark Cooper had a good game today too,
yes,
right?
Yep.
And Black and Hemby, of course, in the backfield. So, and we know how just tough that defense is. So Indiana has a lot of good things going for them. And Ohio State, just with their linebackers, Abel Reese and Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. I mean, it's just unbelievable how talented they are.
It feels like Ohio State has a gear that they still haven't been forced to shift into yet.
Well, what's scary to me is that, like, I feel like Brian Hartline, really figured out how he wants to attack defenses now. With Julian saying, we saw Carnell Tate go off today. The great catch by Brandon Ennis in the back of the end zone. And, of course, just how talented of a thrower Julian is.
So accurate.
For how young he is.
Yeah.
I mean, dude is making some really good decisions and playing like a vet.
And the strength, let's not forget, is the defense. Matt Patricia is putting together exotic defenses, pro-level type of defenses that if you're a young quarterback, if you're a young quarterback, you better be ready to process everything at a high level because it is going to be tough to read.
I think they're only allowing, 5.5 points per game. They're not only the best defense in the country, they're on the verge of being a historically good defense in college football. Last but certainly not least, the ACC. Who do we got as a favorite in the ACC? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, I got to go with Louisville. Where are they at? They're 7th. Oh, my God. We got some work ahead of us,
Long
boys.
way to go. Long way to go.
I do like Louisville. I think Louisville is one of those teams like that should be ranked that wasn't. Georgia Tech, of course, with Haynes King and the way that he's
inside
playing.
track,
Buster
baby.
Faulkner's
Inside track.
Offense.
Yeah.
Brent Key at the head coach. I mean, how can you not root for that football team, too? Virginia still playing some good ball. SMU, good win today as well. But, yeah, I want to say Georgia Tech and Louisville for me.
Okay. Scoop?
Are we going to forget about Miami after this one game?
Hell yeah.
I saw what Carson Beck did, too, and I don't like the fact that he blamed his receiver for that interception on that last play. He had 4 on the night, but it was really 5.
Really 5.
Because one of them got called back. But I still like
Top 5 to 8th in the league.
Right?
Just in one day.
Right? I still like Miami, but I still like Miami here.
Of course.
And then I'm going to go Georgia Tech. I think that they need a lot more respect. They've just continued to win and win quietly, and everyone doesn't talk about them that much. And I know they like it. Like, don't give us no rat poison. We don't want the press clippings, none of that. We got a deranged quarterback, Haynes King, who literally slept in the locker room during the offseason. Just look it up. The guy had an air mattress next to his locker.
Did he really? I didn't read that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he is
He put an air mattress next to his locker
him,
in the
man.
offseason so he could eat, sleep, and breathe football.
But hey, we've seen this now a few times, right, this season so far. How does Miami respond to this tough loss to a team that they were expecting to beat Friday night, right? Everyone was kind of overlooking it, saying it's another win for them. So, hey, do they have that response like some championship teams do after losses like Alabama and Florida State? Or do they respond like a Penn State football team after the loss to Oregon? So we'll see what kind of mental focus this team has going forward.
And to be fair, Miami has had one of those trip-ups in each of the last couple of seasons, but the trip-up has come later on in the year.
Right.
So it's good to see it
I
come early.
asked you this question before the show, and I want you to answer it in front of everybody on camera. Do you think the national champion will be undefeated, or will the national champion have a loss or 2 on the record?
I said, look what happens to Oregon last year. I'm going to say
2 losses.
Yeah, I may say 1 or 2 at least. I'm not
the national. You feel like
wouldn't
the
be
national
shocked.
champion
Yeah, I
will
wouldn't
have
be shocked.
1 or 2 losses on the record?
I wouldn't be shocked if we have a national champion that loses in their conference championship game, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with just the parity that we see in college football right now. And, hey, I want to throw this at you real quick. Everyone's talking about, like, give this guy the Penn State job. How about you call Jeff Brom, okay? Last time I checked, Jeff Brom took Purdue to the Big Ten championship game.
That would be a great hire for Penn State.
He wins against top 5 opponents a lot.
Yeah,
First one at Louisville, okay? And, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, Jeff Brom, good coach out there. Everyone forgets him. Now, Louisville's his spot. Brian Key, Georgia's his spot. Clark Lee, Vanderbilt's his spot. Let's not forget about some of these other guys that maybe aren't so popular, all right? Jeff Brom, don't forget about how good of a coach that guy is.
They get it done.
Yeah, that's right. They get it done.
Our producer, Brian, said 3 words to me, game pick next. So let's pick some games here. By the way, if you've been following along this season,
catch it back up, baby.
You've made some money.
You thought you were getting ahead. That's what you get for picking Tennessee.
I'm not happy about it. And I don't know why I do it every year to myself. I don't want to keep picking Tennessee just because I went there, because I wanted to pick Alabama. I thought they were the better football team. They are the better football team, and I'm an idiot for doing that, all right? I don't know what to say.
Let's be nice to ourselves. It's late. It's late on a Saturday night, The group of 5 is going to be incredibly interesting, likely to be out of the American Athletic Conference, and it may be one of these 2 teams. Memphis and USF finally meet next week. In Memphis, I'm going to go with the home team for no other reason because they're playing at home.
Yo, when
they just lost to UAB.
I don't care.
Sam watched as soon as Memphis
as soon as they lost to UAB.
He goes, don't care, still picking them next week.
As soon as they lost to UAB. By the way, I don't know what the record is for coaches that got fired and then their teams come out and win the next week.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good this year.
They're definitely above 500.
Not good for Penn State.
Not good for Penn State.
Hey,
but
congratulations, Alex Mortensen, right? Chris
really
Mortensen, who was an ESPN reporter here for a long time, a family friend of ours too in the Sims family. Alex Mortensen, congratulations. We love you, man. UAB, go Blazers. I'm taking South Florida in this matchup, though.
Okay. Scoob.
South Florida.
All right. I'm going against you guys. I'm going against the grain. That's okay. It's
That's fine.
We've been used
You
to
saved
it.
the graphic.
That's how you separate.
Yeah.
That's how we separate.
One off. You had a good head start, buddy.
I'm going to do it again here. I'm picking Missouri. Going
Let's
on the
go,
road
Golish.
to take down
Let's
Vanderbilt.
go, Golish. Take care of these boys. Let's go. Get this dub.
Pavia. I'm going with him. I mean, this is such a good game. I'm excited for that next week, just to be able to see 2 teams with 2 running quarterbacks that are just tough. Both need this win. Could this be an elimination type of game? It's looking like it. So let's get it popping.
Honestly, I kind of forgot who I picked. I think I went with
Vandy,
right?
but you didn't like it. You said, I don't like it.
I do like Missouri a lot. I think they are a good football team that's a little underappreciated right now, and a good tough win against Auburn.
Do you think the loser of this game is out? I mean, it's 2 losses. I feel like we'll see plenty of 2 losses teams have an opportunity to get
don't
in.
believe that they're out, but it definitely gets tough.
Makes the road
especially
harder,
in
that's
SEC,
for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I don't think that the LSU win will be as impressive for Vanderbilt as the season progresses, but I'm going to take Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia, and just what they're doing as a team right now.
Well, they played the music. That means that they're trying to get us to shut up.
This is the longest we've gone all season.
No, it's been great. It's been great. Thanks for sticking around with us. It was a great Week 8. We continue on through the second half of this season. Can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much for watching the College Football Show presented by AT&T. Deuces.